because he is able to solve the problem, to solve the fitan that caused by the Khalid before. And okay, so according to Imam al-Ghazali, there was consensus that on the right of Abbasid dynasty, so whoever against this dynasty, he will consider as Baghi, as Bawat. Yeah, it looks like Imam al-Ghazali defend Abbasid authority. And the sixth one is Ahmad al-Qufal, reported such tolerance to rebels, even he has some differences from other Shafi'i jurists. So yeah, he repeated what other Shafi'i jurists say. And the last of Shafi'i jurists is Muhammad al-Baghawi. He left the Sunnah and the law of rebellion. For example, he said that the Prophet commanded Muslims to kill the Khawarij whenever they may be found. So if you find Khawarij, you may kill them because they are considered as rebels. Yeah, Muhammad al-Baghawi seems less tolerant comparing to other Shafi'i jurists. And we will come to Hanafi. How about Hanbali stance? So there are the Hanbali jurists in this book. The first is Abu Qasim al-Khiraqi. He adopts very general definition of rebellion, didn't mention about ta'wil and shawka, only if they accept someone as ruler, so the rebels group against him, they must be formed. How the rebels must be treated is not different from Shafi'i jurists' opinion. Yeah, some ideas they adopt from Shafi'i. And the second, Abu Bakr bin Abu Dawud, the regular doesn't depend on number of supporters. So berapapun the numbers of rebels, it's no problem if they distinguish themselves from loyalism and also the just ruler, so they are considered as rebels. And Imam Abu Hanbal, whoever wins should be recognized as just ruler. So Hanbali's position seems adopting Shafi'i's argument. They have just begun established theoretical justification after the 6th or 12th century. And now we will move to the third Islamic law of thought, that is Hanafi. So Hanafi, compared to Shafi'i, Hanafi school is less tolerant of rebels due to Abu Yusuf and also Shaybani's position were judges and also accepted Abbasid legitimacy. They say that rebellion is a sin. So maybe when we compare to a Shafi'i is still saying that rebellion is not a sin. The rebels are not sinners. But when we come to Hanafi say that rebels are sinners. Okay, the first jurist Abu Bakr al-Jassas. Hiraba first. Yuharibun. Hiraba first addressed for highway robber. Distinguish between bandits and rebels. Here the difference is true having ta'wil or not. Yeah, just before, so rebels who has plausible interpretation, and bandits they don't have this interpretation. Rebels are fought because of the self-defense. Bandits are fought due to their crimes. And they focus on defending the nation, and the people should support against rebels. Joining the Imam is considered as al-fi'ah al-adilah. All jurists agree that the property of rebels may not be confiscated, disita. While Hanafis say that whenever found in the rebel camp is considered loot, rampasan. So when other jurists say that the al-amwal, the property of the rebels, may not be taken. But when we come to Hanafi say that whenever you found their property, so those properties are considered as loots. While other jurists say that the testimony and acts revealed must be recognized, the Hanafi position in 5th until 6th, or in the 10th until 11th century, had become opposed. And according to Hanafi, rebellion is a sin in fasaq, so their testimony, the shahada, and acts cannot be recognized. Wow, it's very different, right? And when we come to Abu al-Qasim al-Sinani, is the second Hanafi jurist, he asserts that the ruler enjoyed obedience. Even someone fulfilled to be the right imam, this condition leads to the chaos. If there are two persons, one is the real ruler and the one is not ruler, but he has better in terms of the rightfulness. So the right imam, the real imam should be obeyed. But in the same time, he said that if the ruler is unjust, the Muslim may throw him. If the ruler is unjust, he did something wrong, so the Muslim are allowed to throw him. But he is also confused who actually to be considered as rebels, because everyone could justify themselves as the right one. So there is the confusion as to who has legitimate and who was not, so that he is expressing the doubt of the applicability of this law. And the third Hanafi jurist is Abu Bakr al-Sarhi. He maintains the main distinction of bandit and rebels is having ta'wil, just other jurists that I mentioned before. He said that the one who causes against the ruler is the one who causes the fitnah, and against the rebel is a form of the goodness. Why fitnah? Because it affected the stability. It says so, whoever causes the instability, he is considered as rebel. He says that if the rebels gather in specific place at the time, the ruler should imprison or fight them without waiting for the rebels to take them. If there is the indication that there was gathering from some groups in the specific place, and it is indicating that they will fight the ruler, so at that time attack the rebels are allowed. And he said that he argues that Umayyad were good because he take Ali position from the Khalif. But when we come to Umar Abdul Aziz, it will be different. He just said that he is just ruler. He could secure the law and order, so that he is considered as legitimate ruler. Whoever against him, they are considered as bugot also. I don't know, actually I'm still confused. So who actually has authority to consider whether you are bugot or not. I'm still confused about this. And in Maliki, in this period, the majority of Maliki jurists did not mention about Ahkamul Bugat. In terms of the difference between Khawarij and bandits, they argue that Khawarij fought off misguided or piety, while bandits are common thieves, but they are the same in terms of the six sa'an. They must be executed, they must be repent, they have to tawbah, and also they are also allowed to kill. Abu Fadl only provides a reader on one Maliki jurist, Abu Qasim al-Jalal. Note that Malik ruled the Qadariyah and Ibadiyah Alul Ahwa should be repent or to be killed, and the banditry outside the city should face banditry law. But unfortunately in his work he doesn't specify which crime constitutes banditry. And we come to Zayd school. we can see how Shafi'i and Zahiri actually share some ideas. They focus on the moral and the logical cause. The first is Ibn Hazm, saying that Muslim must obey rightful ruler and rebellion is considered as a sin. Yeah, I think it's different because in Shafi'i, rebellion is not a sin; it's allowed. If the rebels rely on plausible interpretation, they are just like mujtahid. Oh, this is a Shafi'i. So that the action of Muawiyah didn't give pledge of allegiance, so Ali due to Ali couldn't solve the problem, but Uthman killed is still recognized. Yeah, so this is the yeah, so this is what Zahir said, that Muawiyah is not good because Muawiyah take the Khalif from Ali, right? So according to Zahiri, this action is not considered as bughat because the reason is justified, because Sayyidina Ali couldn't solve the problem about someone who kills Sayyidina Uthman. And unfortunately, according to Abu Fadl, Ibn Hazm classification is very subjective. His definition about banditry is very wide and ambiguous. Who resists the sword, who denies pay zakat, they are also considered as bughat. So yeah, it's very subjective. There is no really clear classification. There is no clear specific factors that lead that as the factors someone considered as rebels. And we come to the last Islamic thought, that is Shi'i. So for Shi'i, they don't scrutinize justness interpretation, rather they focus on whether the Imam was rightful according to Shi'i theology. So when we discussed before, so there are two factors, right? The first is plausible interpretation, and second one is the verses. But in Shi'is literatures, the interpretation never been considered. So the Shi'i sects focuses on whether the Imam was rightful according to Shi'i theology. So if the Imam has Shi'i theology, so he is considered as right ruler. If the ruler is rightful, who against him is considered as rebels. But if the ruler is not, Shi'i tends to say nothing, tends to be neutral, not committal. And for example, the first is Abu Ja'far al-Tusi. He said that who fight the just Imam al-Adil, violates his oath of religion, is considered as Badi. Contracting the Sunni, he asserts that the status of rebels are unbelievers. So the rebels, even they are still Muslim, even they are not sinner, but they are considered as unbeliever. He also rejects the idea of plausible interpretation as justified reason, as what I explained before. The second, Al-Musawi al-Sharif al-Murtada, the treatment of art to bughat are similar what Sunni has. Yeah, they have similar treatment to bughat. And the last, Ismail al-Qadi al-Nu'man. He was supporter of early Fatimid dynasty. In Fatimid dynasty, the sources of law follow Quran, Hadith, and infallible Imam al-Ma'sum. So yeah, I think Shi'i always prefer to link between al-Imam al-Adil with their theology, and al-Imam considered as Ma'sum, so that he placed the al-Imam in the third after al-Quran and Sunnah. This is the debate among scholars on Ahkamul Bughat during the 4th until 5 Hijri or 10 until 11 centuries. We can see how they are different about whether rebels sin or not, whether what constitutes banditry, what constitutes rebellions, yeah, are they allowed or not, and how Islamic law treat the bandits, the rebels. Yeah, they have different interpretation. Some of them borrow each other's, some of them eat something new, etc. I think that's enough for me. Thank you.